Been a week. Oh, what have you seen out of the guys practicing this week?
I have that same jacket. It's one of my favorites.
It works out here.
It works out
really
here.
does.
Well, on a rainy day like today, you just get them out on the field and you let them play. We had a couple nice days. Got to work on some tactics. We got to work on some tactics, defending. We're going to start throwing in some attacking movements, some build-out play, and trying to sharpen them up because we have a very big game that was announced this morning. It's finally nice to get it on the radar, and practices are going to speed up a little bit as far as tactics and all that is concerned. I think some of the physical prep will still go on, but we're going to start working on soccer.
You said something I heard on the replay of a post-practice interview. I don't know if you're going to answer this. You said there's a question about Nuhu and his defense, and you said Leo Chu and also Jordan Morris, and you work on that left side to balance the right side. Can you elaborate what you were...
Well, balance might be an unfair word, but if you look statistically, I think a lot of our attacks went up the right side. I think Alex and Christian do a great job over there. They're brothers. They did that in their backyard when they were young. So just trying to make sure that we can even things out, because if teams stop what Alex and Christian do well, okay, then maybe we have to find Raul or Albert in some of the pockets of space in between the lines, or maybe we have to come wide out on this side and make sure that Jordan and Nuhu are able to play together to their strengths. So maybe balance out the attack. Might have been a little strong. We're just trying to get better.
In terms of getting better too, how does Leo Chu look as far as the...
He looks good. He came into camp fitter, Jada. He was motivated. So he's looked good.
He's been one of those ones that have been, trying to get him on the field. Has been, so we feel that he can contribute.
So far he has earned more looks, more chances, but he is competing against Jordan Morris in that position, and that's not an easy task. So we have some games this year. We'll see how it goes. But the kid's in a tough spot. But what I like is he didn't shy away. He could have, said, "Oh, I'm never going to play in front of Jordan. Trade me to another team." He didn't say that. He made a commitment to himself and to this group of players, and he's back. And he's worked very hard, and he looks better.
Now that we know who are the possible teams that you're going to play during the World Clubs Cup, does that change anything in terms of your training and how you're going to...
No, not really. I mean, we will now be able to have our video people analyze, the preliminary game, and whichever team comes through, we will be ready for. But it's not going to change the physical or tactical training that we have already planned.
Is one of the joys of the Club World Cup that you get to study film on teams that you would never have a reason to do that before? Like,
yeah.
You haven't watched Al Ahly or Auckland City before, and now you get to?
Well, I will leave most of that to the experts, the video analysts, and I will certainly watch a couple games and highlights. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, look, the players were excited. We have a group WhatsApp, and the announcement came out very early this morning. But Freddie Montero at like 7:15 already put it out on the group chat. Here's how we're playing, and everybody else chimes in. This is great. They're all excited, and yes, it excites even us old coaches that we get to do something new and fun, and so yeah, we're into it.
Are there connections that you pull to talk to that might have been previous coaches or players that you've played with that might connect you to those styles out of New Zealand?
I mean, look, if you're asking about specifically John Hutchinson, I don't know. I haven't thought that through yet. I mean, we just had the announcement this morning, but certainly John was a very valuable member to our organization. Might do that. But look, nowadays you can find any game on film on Y-Scout, our software. We can watch any player, any team, any league. We have that available to us.
The magnitude of this magnitude of this tournament might not lend too much free time, but is this, because of the uniqueness of it, is it something that you might try and find some time to do something outside of soccer for the team, like you did in, I think it was training camp, climbing the thing in Mexico?
Yeah, we did that. We went to the pyramids, yes, in Mexico City. We have our schedule almost planned in Spain, in Marbella, and then flying or taking a ferry, you never know, down to Tangier. So, the Guns of Navarone or famous films. I mean, maybe we take a boat through the Straits. We don't know yet. Maybe we just charter like we're supposed to. But, we'll see. We'll try and come up with some creative ideas because it will be a long trip, so they will need to be able to explore. But from all reports, I mean, Tangier is a great city to visit.
Yeah.
So they're excited about that.
So it's not an odd thing to do. Like, the focus.
I would say our focus, yes, is on the game. Yeah. But yes, in between moments, it will be a great trip.
What do you feel, or how have people responded? Like, everybody was excited, obviously, for y'all to qualify. But, what's the vibe now? I mean, do you feel like you guys are underdogs, or do you feel, how do you feel?
I mean, we're just going to go down there, and again, we have to wait for that first game to be played to learn our opponent. There has been no talk about who's the favorite, who's the underdog. We're not looking ahead to Real Madrid. We have a game to play. I mean, the guys are just excited in general, which relates to their effort in, enthusiasm on the training field. So we're going to ride that as coaches as long as we can. It makes for a really good training environment.
Brian, Christian was talking about depth and how he's kind of taking leadership. Well, how important is depth going to be for this season, and also leadership from some of your players too? And they've always connected with the young players.
Yeah.
But how important would that be for this season?
Well, we've always had good leadership here at the club, starting back, even when Zig was here. We've always had good leaders. Casey Keller wearing an armband right away. Zach Scott through my days at the USL, Leighton O'Brien, some of those names. Christian is developing into a leader. Steph Fry is a tremendous leader. Nico's a tremendous leader. We had, Ramon Torres. We had Clint. We had all sorts of different types of leaders, verbally, on the field, by example. I mean, I think the club has always had a good group of pros in that locker room. And I just think it's natural that Christian takes a little bit more responsibility. I think he's earned the respect of his teammates. And it just complements what we already have.
Speaking of Christian, how can you use his experience in the World Cup as well as Jordan Morris in terms of the weather, the culture, the travel, so you can...
Well, we obviously talked to him, Felipe, when they came back, and, it's a national team. They were always first class, first ticket. Everything was really set up for them. We will try and do the same, but, just having them relate their experiences in that tournament to their teammates, along with Nuhu and Javi, I think that's good. I think we understand that this is an international stage. Club World Cup may still be regional. You might still think of that as, kind of here, but we're on an international scale, so it will be important.
There's about a dozen guys on the team, same age roughly that you were when you signed. What's this, them getting this opportunity to go to Morocco for competitive games compared to when you were playing in the NASL?
I got to go to Renton Stadium, right behind Boeing, where the jet engines would be tested, and we couldn't hear Alan Hinton say a word. It's okay, Coach. We can't hear you. Kind of like the train.
The scale.
The scale is it's okay. I get your question. Thank you, Dave. Look, it's just another testament to the growth of the sport here in Seattle, nationally, MLS. I mean, there were lean years. Obviously, we all know lean years, but look, we are poised on just breakthrough growth. The World Cup's coming. It's our 50th anniversary. There's so many good things that are happening with this club, with our league, that those kids probably don't get it right now, but when they're my age, they will look back and reflect and say, oh my gosh, that was such a great experience for me as I was growing up.